Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at the final V-Star from Dark Phantasma. It's Magnezone. And it's weird, I didn't see anybody predicting that Magnezone would be the final V-Star. But actually, and let's be clear, I did not predict it either. But if we'd thought about it for a minute, with the weird exception of Whimsicott, and I still don't get why we have Whimsicott V-Star, and I suppose Charizard, but Charizard blatantly doesn't count because it's Charizard. All we've had in terms of Pokemon V-Star so far is prominent Gen 4 and Hisui Pokemon. That's like literally all we've had. It's why Whimsicott makes so little sense. Charizard I get because, come on, it's Charizard. But still, it's a little bit weird. So why were we not predicting prominent Gen 4 Pokemon, like, for instance, Magnezone? Never mind, eh? So, what have we got? Translation from the lovely Antoine Boulet, although I will say, I tried to translate the V-Star myself, and I'm delighted to say, totally nailed it. And then went and checked Antoine's translations, because I'm not that confident yet, come on. So, looking at the Pokemon V, we got 210 HP. Generally, Pokemon V have 210 or 220, so that's fine. Weakness to fighting is not ideal, because there's a lot of Pokemon around. I mean, Galarian Zapdos is really good at hitting fighting weakness right now. But it does mean that you're sharing a weakness with all kinds of stuff like Arceus V-Star and Hisui and Zoroark that we are expecting to be absolutely brilliant. So honestly, this is a pretty bad weakness to have right now. It's not one that I would be boasting about, I think is fair to say. And in terms of the V, it's a V that evolves into a V-Star, so we're not expecting a huge amount, and we're honestly not getting a huge amount. For one Lightning Energy here, you switch one of your opponent's bench with their active and do 40 to the new active. Now, what I will say here is that it's very important that this does let you hit for weakness. Not all these attacks let you hit for weakness, this one does. And it's actually really, hyper important because of Sobble. Now there is a very strong question as to how much play Sobble is going to see post-rotation, because this is essentially a post-rotation set. But being able to drag a Sobble in the active and do 80, which will then get a KO, that's actually a pretty big deal, honestly. Being able to get a KO on that is good. Any weaker Pokemon we see that is weak to Lightning, this is going to be great against. So I actually really like it in that regard. It's about it, if I'm honest with you. There's not much else I like it for, but in that really hyper-specific situation, I think this one could be pretty gosh darn good. As for the second attack, Lightning Double Colorless, 90 damage base, plus 30 to 2 of your opponent's bench. And I kind of like doing 90 to the active and 30 to 2 bench Pokemon, but the reality is 30 to the bench isn't really going to get many KOs, which is a bit of a problem. And also, you're talking free energy on a Pokemon V, which is fine, but you've only got 210 HP, you've got a bad weakness. It's a lot to put in here. And I just worry that it's not going to work out. If that doesn't sound too mean. Decent attack, but I don't think a reason to play the card. I do like the first attack, although actually I really do need to say about the first attack. It is 2 energy, a lightning, and a colorless, which kind of makes it rubbish. I should make that clear. But the V-Star, I think, has an awful lot more potential. Firstly, love the artwork, although let's be clear, I played a bunch of Magnezone early on in my TCG career, so that means I've always been a little bit favoritism biased towards Magnezone. We go up to 270 HP, which is 10 below the max we've seen of 280, but that's fine. We've still got that same annoying weakness, which does need to be borne in mind, but we've got some good attacks. Lightning Double Colorless, 180 damage. Search your deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Yes, that is absolutely brilliant. Now, it is only item cards, not supporters, not Pokemon, not energy, etc. But look, we all know that searching out item cards is great. You can be searching out stuff like Ultra Ball to go and get the particular Pokemon you need. You could be searching out stuff like Crushing Hammer to try and get rid of your opponent's energy. There's a million different things you could be doing here. So, yeah, this one works pretty gosh darn nicely. Plus, let's not forget that we've always got ways. Sure, you can't use this to go and grab an energy, but you can use it to go and grab an energy search which is functionally the same thing, so I think you'll be alright, quite frankly. And you're doing 180 damage while you're doing so. Now, this isn't perfect, don't get me wrong, and I'm not for a second arguing that it is perfect, but the numbers do work quite nicely. 180 will get your support Pokemon things like Luminion, as an example, which is nice. You're not getting most Pokemon V, but if you had a Choice Belt, you will. Choice Belt will put you up to 210, which is the number to get a lot of Pokemon V. Not all, a lot of them do have 220, but you will get a lot of them, a lot will fall in here. Here's the thing. You kind of want double turbo energy to be an option here. Because your attack cost is lightning double colorless, you kind of want double turbo energy to be an option. The problem is, if we use double turbo energy, things become a lot less fun. Because now you're hitting 160, which is not enough to get even those support Pokemon. And then if you add on a Choice Belt, well then you're hitting 190, and you will get those support Pokemon, but only if you've got a Choice Belt, and then you won't get your regular Pokemon V, and that's a problem here. So this turns it into a Pokemon that, at least as far as I'm concerned, does mean that you've got to be a little bit careful, and you need to make sure that you're really going without double turbo here. Because if you can not use double turbo, you actually hit the numbers quite nicely, and this is brilliant. But if you find yourself using double turbo energy, I do think this becomes a lot less good a lot more quickly, and I'm afraid that is a little bit of a problem. But I do like the attack, and I think it's good, and I think searching out those item cards while one-hit KOing Pokemon V, I think that is absolutely something we can get behind. But we've also got quite a nice V-Star power as well. What we've got here is for 2 lightning energy, and that is actually pretty important, because the first attack is lightning double colorless. So if you're using a lightning double turbo energy, you can't actually use your V-Star power, you've got to have a second lightning on there. But what you do is 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Nice. It should be a double KO. And as long as it is a double KO, things are going to be looking very, very good very, very quickly. Now, we all know Level Ball is a good thing at the moment. It lets you search out your Pokemon if they've got 90 HP or less. And the rule here is really simple. The more a deck uses Level Ball, the better Magnezone is going to be against them. There are a bunch of support Pokemon that you're going to be able to get here, but this is where things get a bit awkward. So one of the really good things about Cinccino is that you've got that draw engine, discard a card from your hand, draw 2 cards. Cinccino is great, but Cinccino's got 90 HP, so it can be searched by Level Ball, making it kind of awkward when you come up against Magnezone. That's going to rotate and be replaced by Lipard, which can't be grabbed with Level Ball because it's got 100 HP, but that will survive the hit from Magnezone. Obviously, you can always be playing around with stuff like Inteleon, if you so wish, to try and get that bit of extra damage, and if you are hitting the bench with his V-Star power, that might be something to bear in mind. Obviously, if you can use the attack on Magnezone V, does 30 to your opponent's bench, there is an argument that that actually will set up this V-Star power very, very nicely indeed. But my point is, this should be a double KO on evolving Pokemon, on support Pokemon, on whatever it might be that your opponent's relying on. This is going to work. Unless your opponent plays Manaphy. Because this only hits the bench. It doesn't hit the bench or the active, it only hits your opponent's bench Pokemon. And that means that if a Manaphy's in play, and look, we saw that at the EUIC, Rapid Strike Urshifu was absolutely ruling the tournament. A lot more people are going to be playing Manaphy nowadays, because that's a deck that loves hitting the bench. That does make this a little bit more awkward. So, I like the V-Star power, but the 90 damage might be a bit low. A lot of people are playing Manaphy, and this could get a bit awkward, and for that, I apologise. So we're left with a Pokemon that really needs to accelerate energy, and we're back to a question I've asked, I think approximately like 1 billion times before. Can Flaffy work? And funnily enough, Flaffy is another one of those Pokemon that can be searched with Level Ball, will be KO'd on the bench by Magnezone, and for which you need to play Manaphy so it doesn't get KO'd on the bench. But you don't need much with Flaffy, and I think that's kind of the difference here. You need really an occasional acceleration from Manaphy, and that's it. For the V-Star power, attach for turn 1 Manaphy, boom. For the main attack, attach turn 1. Turn 2, you attach a Manaphy and you're off. You don't need much more energy acceleration here. And that, I think, is where Flaffy becomes pretty good. Flaffy is one of these ones that isn't perfect, but Flaffy becomes an issue when you need to have, 2 or more Flaffy every turn. When you need to have 1 Flaffy occasionally, then it becomes way better. Plus, of course, you've got that lovely Okacheke artwork, so, that's a reason to play it on its own. Also, as a side note, not a single Okacheke card in the main set list of this set. Boo! Although, to be fair, there might be some secret rare, special arts, whatever you want to call them, so hang off for a second, it could be coming. We've had plenty of really good stuff in the past. I mean, this is a Pokemon that is crying out for Tapu Koko V-Star. And then Expanded, you're going to have it. It's not what we've got in Standard, but I do think this one has a little bit of a chop. I'm going to be giving it 4 Wassies. I've been overrating Pokemon lately. Let's keep that train rolling. I don't think it is the best V-Star in the game, but I think searching out item cards while one-hit KOing Pokemon V, and I think that bench-hitting attack could combine to be very, very good indeed. That's what I think. I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWazzy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.